All right. First of all, thank you so much, all of you, for being here. It's amazing to see so many nerds at the same place. We are located in Aarhus, where we don't have something like this. And I would love to have that, so if anybody is interested in helping me out with that, let me know. I'm going to talk about lead scoring, and I only have 15 minutes. Normally I would have an hour or so for this, so it's going to be fast. Lead scoring is something we have struggled with a lot. And it all started with a problem. And to define lead scoring super quickly, lead scoring is that we have X amount of leads, and we know all of them are interested in our brand, but we don't know how interested they are. Are they likely to convert or not, or have they interacted with multiple content pieces, or what have they done? So we set a score on each of them to figure out which one should we focus more on, which one shouldn't we focus that much on, which one should we call, etc. So to say it easily, on one side we really had the goal, and on another side we had the total failure, where we hit a point where we got a lot of leads, which is only positive, but when you get a certain amount of leads, you hit a limit for which one you should prioritize. And when you prioritize the wrong ones, which we found out we did, we ended up actually with more leads, but less revenue. And I'm sure some of you might say right now, well, maybe I don't get the same amount of leads, or I just want more leads. Yeah, sure. But at one point, even though you only have 100 leads, or I don't know, 20 leads, you still need to figure out which one should you prioritize. That's where I use lead scoring. So to get this started off, I need to tell a few things about how we get our leads as well, because I think that's important for lead scoring as well, since you score them from where they came from as well. We get it from the blog, where we have something called content upgrades. They read a piece of content about email marketing or something like that, and we give them email marketing ideas if they sign up with their email address. We get it from everything from lead magnets. This is a lead magnet about growth ideas. They sign up with their email, their name, their size of business, and which category they fit into. We get it from ebooks, we get it from webinars, we get it from beta products, and we get it from partner programs, and lastly, also someone that just signs up for a product and try it. It's a SaaS product. As you might imagine here, it's quite difficult to say which one of these leads do we want to prioritize. Of course, you want to prioritize someone that just signed up for a product. Yeah, that's obviously. But what if someone on our blog signed up only with their email, but let's say it's a super big company and just directly in our target group? Is that worth more than a partner referred, but it's a small company not in our target group? Most likely not. One thing we had to figure out is we needed more segmentation to actually do lead scoring. And the first part of it is when someone signed up, we already got their email address. But what if we would ask a little bit more information, because then we had more to score them with. We could set a number easily. So we implemented a simple segmentation in a pop-up, and it basically just says, which of the categories do you fit into? E-commerce, agency, SaaS, or a beginner? Let's say they're a beginner and they sign up to a newsletter. To be honest, it's not someone I would pitch again and again for our product, because it's not someone that would buy our product. I would rather send that person multiple blog posts. Maybe one day he'll be in a position, or she'll be in a position where they'll buy our product. So it's an important lead still, but not a lead I want to pitch our product to. If it's e-commerce, I really want to pitch the product. Segmentation number 2 is we also on our blog just said, okay, sign up with your email. And then in our first email, we asked them, hey there, thanks for signing up. Could you help us segment yourself so we'll send more relevant content to you? So we actually here say, okay, which one of the following do you represent? E-commerce, SaaS, beginner, so on. And they segment themselves. And you might think, yeah, sure, Emil, how many does that? We hit around 30% when we have set up a segmentation in an email flow where we send multiple emails until they segment themselves. Of course, there'll still be 70% that doesn't segment themselves. That was the story behind it, and let's get more concrete. We use a system called ActiveCampaign. ActiveCampaign is a good system. I would say it fits us perfectly. We have around 1,000 customers that's paying us every month. And I would say if you hit 10,000 or over, it might not be the best system for you. Or if you're more an enterprise company, you might need something like Salesforce, HubSpot, so on. But for us, it's a perfect solution for email automation, sales CRM, and lead scoring and so on. They basically stole the best from most of the system and copy-pasted into ActiveCampaign. That's how our pipeline looks like when we get the leads in. They're in different stages. So if we didn't have, and that's why I started with how do we segment them. If we didn't have this, we would just have a lot of emails. So we started with that, and that basically really didn't get us anywhere. So now we have some kind of segmentation. It's hard to see here, sorry. But it's like there's a general, there's some agency leads, there's some SaaS, there's some beginners, there's e-commerce, there's ebook, there's lead magnets, there's webinars, blah, 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 blah. And as you see, there's thousands of leads. So with one sales rep, how the hell is this possible? There's thousands of leads in each category. And which one should she focus on? As I told her in the beginning, where we didn't have this, we just had emails. We had, of course, we had the referral. Where did they come from? Where did they sign up from? I don't know which one I should prioritize. And all right, fair enough. I tried it out myself 1 week, actually doing outbound. And I really struggled, really struggled actually prioritizing them. So instead, in ActiveCampaign, there is a simple lead scoring. And that's also one of my outputs from today is people think of lead scoring and they think, oh, that's advanced stuff. That's like something you would have to set up with third-party apps and so on. In ActiveCampaign, it's so that simple. It's at least this integration. We tried multiple other systems where it's more complicated. But this is modern enough for us, at least. It's basically just say, OK, we're looking at different things here, and we're giving them points. So when they hit over X amount of points, we define them as a warm lead. We give them everything from, oh, they opened an email campaign, they get a few points. They visit the pricing plan page. Oh, here we go. Let's give them some points. They downloaded an ebook. They visit our site multiple times. They listen to our podcast. As you can see here, these are just examples. They're visited from Scandinavia. It's someone that can afford our product. They visited from Ukraine. Maybe not. We don't have anyone speaking that language, and they don't understand ours in most cases. Or Africa, we minus score them, and so on. As my point is here, it's not the complicated, basically, and I'm not an expert in this, but it took me 15 minutes to set this up because it's like parameters where you just say, okay, country, Sweden, 10 points. Yeah, and there's not a system for it. I didn't set a system. It's basically, I took my fingers, but okay, I think I'll give Sweden 10 points, Norway, more than Sweden, of course, but you get my point here. So what we do afterwards is we say, okay, when they hit a score over 80, and 80 is just a random number. That could be 200, that could be 1,000, that could be 10,000. That really depends on how many points do you set on each of them. So that's something you always would have to adjust, tweak, however you set the points. Let's say one day there is a new person using the lead scoring, and it's really good if they're from France, because I like French girls, or whatever it is. And they said 100 points, you might need to readjust this. So that's something we're tweaking every single week with our sales rep. But when they hit over 80 points, we'll basically put them into a new lead stage over here. That's called warm leads. Before it was just called lead stage. Our sales rep doesn't even look in the lead stage. She only looks in the warm leads. And there's only like 2% of what you just saw before. And now she knows what to focus on. and she can easily pick up these here. And she will always start with an order on them on e-commerce, SaaS, blah, 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 blah. So she'll start from that end and go towards demo requests. Of course, some things she moved over because she booked a demo with them. This is an example if we go to one of our leads. This is a basic example. Here would be the information the salesperson would need. It's employees, they have around 11 to 50 employees, and they got a lead score on 122. Here's the phone number. They downloaded an ebook, they downloaded another ebook, they went to our newsletter, and over here you'll see activities as well. So they'll hit a lead score on this. They might be from Denmark as well, because then they had more score as well. They downloaded multiple things. They might have seen the pricing plan page. You would normally see that in the activities, but on this one, it's prioritized on the highest lead number is the one in the top. So from there, it just goes down. That's it for me. It's quick, it's super quick. 15 minutes is super tough to cover something like lead scoring, but my message here today is lead scoring isn't that hard. It really isn't.